Hi, this is Lakshmi Priya. Today we'll be dealing with the second chapter of the Indian polity by M. Laxmikanth, that is making of the Constitution. First, let us see the definition of the Constitution. This is a document that lays down the basic rules and regulations for people and the government in a country to follow. This is the basic definition of the Constitution. Next, let us see why does the country need a Constitution. Okay, first point, to guard against the misuse of power by our political leaders. We all know we are in a parliamentary form of government, so there are many powers to the political leaders. So this constitution helps us to guard against the misuse of power by our political leaders. Okay, next, it ensures that dominant group does not use its power against the less powerful people. Okay, it makes sure that the larger groups which have power with it, they doesn't use that power on the less powerful people or the one who doesn't have the power. Next, it helps to protect us against certain decisions that we might take that could have an adverse effect on the others. Okay, that whatever decisions we take, maybe it is helpful for us, but it may not be helpful for others. So constitution helps us to protect them. So it helps us to make the laws which are helpful for all the sections of the people, not only the higher section, that is rich or something like that, but also to the middle and lower class people also. Okay, next we'll see the demand for the constitution. See, in 1922, Mahatma Gandhi, he put forward the demand that India's political destiny should be determined by the Indians themselves. Okay, next in 1927, that is Bombay session. At Bombay session, what Motilal Nehru moved a resolution calling upon the Congress Working Committee to frame the Constitution of India. Okay, this happened in 1927. Next, in 1928, in all party conference, a committee was set up under the chairmanship of Motilal Nehru to determine the principles of the Constitution of India. Next, in 1928 itself, Nehru report was released. Next, in 1928 itself, a report was submitted on August 10th and was called the Nehru report. Okay, this was written by Motilal Nehru. This was the attempt by Indians to frame a full-fledged constitution for India. Okay. Next, we'll see the demand for the Constituent Assembly. Yesterday we have seen M.N. Roy gave the idea of Constituent Assembly in the year 1934. Okay. In 1935, Indian National Congress, for the first time, it officially demanded for the Constituent Assembly to frame the Constitution of India. Next, in 1938, Jawaharlal Nehru, on behalf of Indian National Congress, declared that the Constitution of Free India must be framed without outside interference by the Constituent Assembly elected on the basis of adult franchise. Adult franchise is nothing but one person, one vote. Like we are voting for the general elections the same way. Okay. Next, 1940 August offer. What is this August offer? Let us see. In 1940, Hitler was attacking Britain in the Battle of Britain, and Linlithgow announced the August offer, which proposed the dominion status. Okay, and also the Viceroy's Executive Council would have majority of Indians. These two proposals were put forward on August offer, which was announced by Linlithgow, but this was not accepted by Muslims and Congress. Okay, next in 1942, Cripps Mission. Next, what happened in 1942? Japanese threat to invade India. Okay, at that time, Stratford Cripps, he came with a proposal. Again, the proposal was dominion status and defense of India would remain with Britain. Again, this Cripps Mission was not accepted by Congress and Muslims. Next, in 1946, Cabinet Mission. See, Attlee government announced 1946 to send 3 British cabinet members. Who are they? Patrick Lawrence, A.V. Alexander, Stratford Cripps. Okay, he announced that these 3 will be sent to India. What were the proposals of cabinet mission? Rejection of full-fledged Pakistan, federal structure for India, princely states were no longer to be under British. Okay. It rejected the idea of 2 constituent assemblies, but more or less it was satisfied by the Muslim League. That is, Muslim League accepted, and with this cabinet mission plan we got independence after this cabinet mission plan. Okay. Next we will see the composition of Constituent Assembly. The Constituent Assembly was constituted in November 1946 under the scheme formulated by the Cabinet Mission Plan. Features of the scheme: allocation of seats. Okay, this was based on the population. 1 seat for every 10 million population. 1 seat for every 10 lakh population, that is 1 million population. Next, voting method. Voting method is proportional representation by the means of single transferable vote. This is used for the presidential elections, president elections, vice president elections. Okay, they both happen with this proportional representation by the means of single transferable vote. We'll see in detail in the further classes about this proportional representation by the means of single transferable vote. Next, the representatives of each community were to be elected by the members of that community in the provincial legislative assembly. Okay, the representatives of each community were to be elected by the members of that community in provisional legislative assemblies. Next, the members of the Constituent Assembly were elected by the system of proportional representation. The same thing. The representation of princely states were to be nominated by the heads of princely states. Okay, they are not elected, but they are nominated by the heads of the princely states. Constituent Assembly was to be partly elected and partly nominated body. Okay, represent princely states, they are nominated, and for each community they are elected. So that is why Constituent Assembly was partly elected and partly nominated body. See, the elections of the Constituent Assembly were held in July-August 1946. Out of 296 seats, the National Congress won 208 seats. Okay, Muslim League won 73 seats, and the small groups and independents won remaining 15 seats. And 93 seats were allotted to the princely states, were not filled as they decided to stay away from the Constituent Assembly. Next, although the Constituent Assembly was not directly elected by the people on the basis of federal franchise, the assembly comprised representatives of all the sections of the Indian society. That is Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, Anglo-Indians, Christians, including women's. Okay. Next, the assembly included all important personalities of India at that time except Mahatma Gandhi and Jinnah. These both were not a part of Constituent Assembly. Next, let us see the working of the Constituent Assembly. First meeting was held on December 9, 1946. Muslim League boycotted the meeting because it insisted for the separate state of Pakistan. Next, Dr. Sachinanda Sinha, the oldest member, okay, he was elected as a temporary president of the assembly. Later, Dr. Rajendra Prasad was elected as the president of the assembly. Okay. Next, let us see the objectives resolution. See, in December 13, 1946, Jawaharlal Nehru, he came up with the objectives resolution in the assembly. It laid down the fundamentals and philosophy of the constitutional structure. Okay, this resolution was unanimously adopted. Okay, this resolution was adopted on Jan 22nd, 1947. He came up with the resolutions on December 13, 1946, but they were adopted on Jan 22nd, 1947. Okay, it influenced the shaping of the constitution through all the subsequent stages. Now this resolution, okay, objectives resolution, is the modified version of the preamble of present constitution. Okay, you will be seeing some of the okay, you can see some of the features of this objective resolution. First, India is an independent, sovereign and public. Next, India is a federal form of government. What is a federal form? See, this type of government is the one that divides the powers of government between national government and state governments. Okay. Next, okay, guaranteed and secure social, economic and political justice, equality of status and opportunities, and equality before law, fundamental freedoms, speech, expression, belief, faith, worship. See, all these are included in the present day preamble of our constitution. That is why this objective resolution is called the modified version that forms the preamble of our present day constitution. Okay. Next, to the minorities, backward and tribal areas, depressed and other backward classes shall be provided adequate safeguards. All these were included in the objective resolutions. Next, the territorial integrity of the republic, contribution to the promotion of the world peace and welfare of the mankind. All these were included in objective resolution. Next, we will see the changes by the Independence Act. The representatives of the princely states who have stayed away from the Constituent Assembly gradually joined it. See, earlier princely states were not were not in the Constituent Assembly. Now, by the changes in the Independence Act, princely states also joined the Constituent Assembly. Next, after the acceptance of the Mountbatten Plan of June 3rd, 1947, for the partition of the country, the representatives of most of the other princely states attended the assembly. Muslim League were also not a part of this thing, right? Even they entered. Next, with the Indian Independence Act of 1947, Constituent Assembly also became the legislative body. See, it has two separate functions: making of the Constitution and enacting of ordinary laws. See, whenever a body meets as a constituent body, it was chaired by Rajendra Prasad, and whenever it meets as a legislative body, it was chaired by G.V. Mavlankar. Okay, thus the assembly became the first parliament of free India. Constituent Assembly has become the parliament of free India. See, as I said earlier, constituent body, it was chaired by Rajendra Prasad, and legislative body, it was chaired by G.V. Mavlankar. Next, we'll see the functions performed. It ratified the India's membership of Commonwealth in May 1949. See, these are some of the facts. Just we'll go through it. It adopted the national flag on July 22nd, 1947. It adopted the national anthem on Jan 24th, 1950. National song on Jan 24th, 1950, same day. Yeah, Rajendra Prasad was elected as the first president of India on Jan 24th, 1950. Three events happened on Jan 24th, 1950. Okay. Next, we'll see the time taken by the Constituent Assembly. Took 2 years, 11 months, 18 days. So total 11 sessions were there under the Constituent Assembly. Time span was 2 years, 11 months, 18 days. Okay, the draft constitution was considered for 114 days. The total expenditure incurred for making the constitution is 64 lakh. Final session Jan 24th, 1950. Though it was a final session, but still it continued as a provisional parliament of the India from Jan 26th, 1950 to the first general elections. Though we got independence in 1947, the parliament first session took place in 1951 after the general elections. Okay, till that time the Constituent Assembly was continued. Next, we'll see the committees of the Constituent Assembly. This is also, again, you need to remember. Major committees: Union Powers Committee, chaired by Jawaharlal Nehru. Union Constitution Committee, Jawaharlal Nehru. Provisional Constitution Committee, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Advisory Committees on Fundamental Rights and Minorities, Sardar Patel. Drafting Committee, B.R. Ambedkar. Rules of Procedure Committee, Rajendra Prasad. States Committee, Jawaharlal Nehru. Steering Committee, Rajendra Prasad. All this you need to study. Okay. Next, we'll see the Drafting Committee. So, Drafting Committee consists of 7 members with B.R. Ambedkar as a chairman. And these are the members, okay: Gopal Swami Iyengar, Alladi Krishna Swami Iyer, K.M. Munshi, Syed Muhammad Sadullah, and Madhava Rao. And Madhava Rao was replaced. Okay, he replaced B.L. Mittar, who resigned due to ill health. Next, T.T. Krishnamachari, he replaced D.P. Kaitan, who died in 1948. Okay, these were the members of the Drafting Committee. Next, we'll say the enactment of the Constitution. The motion of draft Constitution was declared as passed on November 26, 1949. See, draft constitution was declared on November 26, 1949. This date is present in the preamble. Okay, remember. And received the signatures of the members and the president. This is also the date mentioned in the preamble. It is also declared Constitution Day or Samvidhan Divas by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in 2015. Next, the Constitution was adopted on November 26, 1949, contained the preamble. See, when it was, at that time, there was 395 articles and 8 schedules. Now, 470 articles and 12 schedules we have, okay. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, the then law minister who piloted the draft committee in an assembly, is recognized as the father of the Constitution of India. Okay, B.R. Ambedkar is the father of the Constitution of India, and he's the chief architect of the Constitution of India. Next, we'll see the enforcement of the Constitution. See, enacted on November 26th, 1949, enforced on Jan 26th, 1950. Remember. Next, this day is referred to as Constitution as the date of its commencement and celebrated as Republic Day. Okay, Jan 26 was specifically chosen as the date of commencement of Constitution because of its historical importance. What is that? On this day in 1930, it is celebrated as Purna Swaraj Day. Okay, that is why they have chosen to Jan 26 as a date of its commencement. Okay. Next, we'll see the facts. Some of the facts. Again, these facts you need to remember. Symbol of the Constituent Assembly is elephant. Constitutional advisor or a legal advisor of the Constituent Assembly is Sir B.N. Rao. Next, Secretary to the Constituent Assembly is H.V.R. Iyengar. Chief draftsman of the Constitution is S.N. Mukherjee. Calligrapher Prem Behari Narain Raizada. Calligrapher Prem Behari Narain Raizada. The original Constitution was handwritten by him in a flowing italic style. Okay, the original version was beautified and decorated by artist Shanti Niketan. Who are they? Nandalal Bose and Ram Manohar Sinha. Okay, these two decorated the Constitution book. Okay. The Hindi version calligrapher is Vasant Krishnan Vaidya, and this Hindi version was decorated by Nandalal Bose. Original version also was decorated by him. Hindi version also is decorated by him. Original version calligrapher was Prem Behar Narain. Hindi version calligrapher was Vasant Krishna Vaidya. Okay. Now let us see the criticisms of the Constituent Assembly and Constitution. First criticism is not a representative body. Why? See, lot of critics argued that its members were not directly elected by the people of India on the basis of universal adult franchise. Okay, next, not a sovereign body. Next, they said not a sovereign body because it was created by the proposals of British government. Okay. Next, time consuming. Okay, critics time consuming because it took a long time to make the Constitution. Next, dominated by Congress. Critics critics argued that Constituent Assembly was dominated by the Congress party. Next, lawyer politician domination. Critics said that Constituent Assembly was dominated by lawyers and politicians. They said the other sections of society was not sufficiently represented, and also the main reason is the bulkiness of the Constitution and the complicated language in it. because of all this they said lawyer politician domination. Next, dominated by Hindus. So some critics said Constituent Assembly was Hindu dominated. Okay. Next, elephantus size of constitution, very bulk size of the constitution. Okay. Next is constitution is un-Indian. Some critics said that it does not reflect the political traditions and the spirit of India. Okay, they said the foreign nature of the constitution makes it unsuitable to the Indian situation. Okay, these were the arguments. Next, constitution is un-Gandhian because it does not contain the philosophy and ideals of Mahatma Gandhi. Okay, these are some of the criticisms of the Constituent Assembly and Constitution. With this, we have done with the making of the Constitution. Next, we'll deal with the salient features of the Constitution. Thank you.